Okay, so welcome. I'm starting a couple minutes late because I'm having some issues getting my technology going today. Um, we have a lot to cover today, so I'm just going to jump in. With those of you that are here, just a reminder to keep your video off if you don't want to be part of the replay. So today I'm going to be talking about getting exactly what we want, okay, in your life, making your dreams inevitable. Um, and for me, I even know when I hear and have heard people say this in the past, I don't love that title necessarily because it sounds too good to be true. It sounds like I'm going to jump into some gimmicky like sales about how you're going to get, the life of your dreams. But it was kind of like the best that I could come up with to really describe the process that I'm going to be teaching today. Um, because really what it is it comes from a mindset that we have and that we have to develop. So some people have this just more naturally, this way of thinking or this mindset, but for most of us, we have to work at it and we have to learn how to do it. So this mindset is like a way of thinking that motivates us to take action towards or in alignment with what we really want. I'm just going to share my screen, you guys. If for those of you that are on, if there's any issues seeing my screen, please just pop something in the chat. Okay. So this class is designed for women. It's designed for women who want to do and be more. This is for women who want to live fully and purposefully, right, with intention, and are willing to take full responsibility for the results that they get in their life. So if you are here, you might be feeling like something is missing, right? So you probably have, a really good life, but still have this feeling like something is missing and you don't know what. I've been there. It's completely normal. And if you've ever felt that, you're in the right place today. You also probably have some big dreams, right? We all do, that come up for us, big desires. But you think things like, what if I fail? That's not realistic. I don't know how to do, XYZ. Also very normal. Okay, so you're in the right place. The entire class that I'm going to teach today has been designed for women who feel the pull towards an extraordinary life, and are ready to go there. So there's no more excuses, right? We are kind of not going to let ourselves off the hook. If you're here, you're ready to take that next step, take full responsibility, and you are in the right place. I think the majority of you who are on know me. For those of you that may be watching the replay, excuse me, and don't, my name is Lindsay. I'm a trained therapist and certified empowerment coach for women. I have discovered in the last year that I have this skill where I decide what it is that I want and then I make it happen. The number one question I get asked is how. And this is what I teach and work with my long-term clients on. I haven't shared this process in full outside of my coaching sessions. But today I wanted to come and teach it, right? And share it. Because I want you to have access to this process, whether you're ready for coaching or not. Okay. So this process, I have gone back and seen a pattern where, and I'm sure I could look at, say the smaller scale things that I've done in my life and see the same pattern. But for every kind of big dream or big goal that I've had, this is the process that I've used. So today's a little bit different, okay, than the previous master classes I've done. I want to share the process with you. If you have any questions, please just drop them in the chat. I'm going to save them till the end. For those of you that can't stay on, that's completely fine, but I'm going to stay on an extra half an hour to take questions or do coaching if you would like that. If I don't get to everyone's questions or all the questions that come through in the chat, I will answer them through email and send them out with the replay. And then for those of you that want to know more about what it's like to work with me and coach with me, which I don't talk about in any of my other masterclasses, but I wanted to do this at the end of the year. I'm going to share with you how you can do that, what it looks like, and then something special that I'm offering just for people that are here live and on the replay. So I want to start out by saying that what makes your dreams inevitable, okay? And I'm going to actually switch the slide. What makes your dreams inevitable has nothing to do with things like your circumstances, where you live, how much money you have, those types of things. It has nothing to do with your current skill set or who you know, okay? What makes your dreams inevitable is simply the thoughts you have, right? Your willingness to feel and process negative emotions, and the level of belief that you have in yourself and your dream. This is really quite simple, but typically what ends up happening is we have a dream, right? Or we have a big idea and we have this momentary burst of excitement and possibility, right? Where we're like, wow, what if that could happen? Okay, but it's very quickly followed by feelings and thoughts of doubt, confusion, overwhelm, guilt, right? So things like, I don't know how to do this, right? I've never done it before. What was I thinking? That's not realistic for me. And especially for women, this is a big one. It's like, I should just be grateful for what I have, right? So there's this guilt attached to wanting more. All of this, I want you to know, is completely normal. Okay, this isn't a thing that is unique to you, right? It is the human way to talk ourselves out of big goals, and to fear things like failure, and to experience emotions like guilt, especially for women. Okay. There are two main reasons for this. And if you're here, you probably have already heard me talk about them. But the first one is our primitive brain, right? Which has the sole purpose of keeping us safe. Okay. And second, the social conditioning that we have had as women that tell us we are good people if we do what other people want us to, if we put other people's needs ahead of our own, and that if we are to kind of reverse that and put ourselves in the priority line, we are selfish. Okay. So going after a big goal for women is going to naturally induce all of these things: fear, confusion, overwhelming guilt. And because we have been conditioned to see these feelings as negative, right, by our primitive brain, or a sign that something has gone wrong, we tend to give up before we've even started. So the big question here is like, how do you do it? Sorry, I skipped that slide. Okay. And how you overcome fear, guilt, self-doubt to create exactly what you want in your life. And there are 4 steps. And so these are the 4 steps. I'm going to just quickly review them, and then we'll kind of dive deeper into each one of them. So the first step is evaluate and redecide. So that's simply where you're looking at your life, maybe a specific area. You evaluate how you feel, and based on your desires, you decide to redecide on something. And I'll explain what that means. Second, you turn those desires into decisions. So that really looks like defining exactly what it is that you want, right? And deciding to make it happen, which is very different than sitting around wanting or wishing or longing for it. Okay. The third step is to reinvent yourself. So you want to start to think and behave in a way that enables you to get what you want. And how you do this is you think about who the person is that's already created the dream that you have, and how are they thinking? How are they acting, feeling on a daily basis? And again, I'll go into more detail about that. And the fourth and final thing is we need to cultivate courage, right? We need to be willing to try all the things. We need to be willing to feel negative feelings as we go along, because we never get rid of those. Okay. Those are just a very natural human way of being. And we need to learn how to turn obstacles into strategies. So let's go into each one of these a little bit more. Step one, when you're evaluating your current life, you want to determine if there's any decision that you've made, right? Whether it's to be married, to be single, the job you have, to be a mother, to work from home, to not work, any of the decisions that you've, well, let's be clear. If you've chosen to be a mother, we can't probably take that back. So I'm going to remove that one. But any large decision that you've made, you want to evaluate it, right? And you want to look at it and you want to say, what is my level of satisfaction? And if your level is no or low, sorry, what you want to do is ask yourself, looking at the way things are right now, right? If everything were to stay the same in this area of my life, would I choose it again? Okay, if the answer is no, you have the ability to redecide, right? To say, I don't want to be married anymore, or I don't want to be single anymore. I don't want to have this career. Okay, you just redecide, but you make that new decision from a place of desire, okay, not what you should do. That's step one. So now we've redecided, right? You have a new plan. Step two is you want to identify your desires and turn them into decisions. So define in great detail what you want, right? Ask yourself things like, if money wasn't an object and I were guaranteed to succeed, what would I do? Right? Or if I knew no matter what I wanted, I could have it or achieve it, what would I want? Write it down and get specific, like as really specific. I'll give like just a really quick example. When I decided that I no longer wanted to be single and I wanted to meet my life partner, I was so specific, you guys. And I remember doing this, writing it out, right down to the detail of what he would wear each day. And the music that he liked and the food that he ate and where he wanted to travel. And my friends thought I was insane. But I was just like, no, this is exactly what I want. I had a determination about it and I decided I was going to achieve it, right? I didn't just sit around wanting it. It's like I made a decision, and you know you've made a decision because it will require belief and action, right? And again, to take that even further, I've written here, you know, you believe that you can achieve it or have that thing because you start to take action towards it. Okay, so I got very, very detailed and clear on what I wanted. Then you reinvent yourself to align to what you want. Okay, so how does the person who achieves the goal you have think, feel, and act? How do they make decisions? What do they believe about themselves? How is it different than who you are being now? And I want you to write it all down and really think about it. For me, it was like, before, when I was single, it was like I was very against meeting men, right? I dressed in a certain way. It was kind of like it was a very closed, like I like a lot of leather and black, and just like you could tell I was in the space of like, do not approach me. I spent a lot of time with men in a platonic way. I surrounded myself with men that were platonic, so that it was almost like when I went out, I was not, approachable. I listened to certain types of music. Like I was coming from a very almost like masculine place. And when I decided that I wanted to be the type of person who was open to and ready to meet the love of their life, I completely changed all that. I changed how I dressed. I told my male friends that I was no longer going to be spending as much time with them, that I was going to start to align myself with other females and put myself in scenarios where, I could meet men. I started to dress different, not in a, like a way that I thought men liked, but in a way that like I liked and made me feel feminine, and like that I was going to attract the man that I had described in detail, right? I let go of old beliefs and behaviors, right, that didn't align to this future self. So you need to be very willing that there's going to be pieces of you that you're very attached to, that have worked for you until now, that aren't going to work anymore. You want to think in a way that aligns to your future self and motivates very useful actions towards your dream. So it's like, this is not just positive thinking, right? This is useful thinking. So as you are reinventing yourself, right, to meet your future, basically, you want to be cultivating courage, right? So you want to learn how to overcome obstacles as opposed to eliminate them, because they're always going to be there, either in the form of something tangible or something like an uncomfortable emotion. You need to be willing to feel those negative feelings. Okay. The people that do like extraordinary things, like Elon Musk, when you think about him, Oprah, Bill Gates, they know that they are going to come against these kind of negative feelings like fear and self-doubt, rejection. All of these things are going to happen, and they are willing, right? They're just like, yes, that's part of the process. I'm willing to feel those things, right? So it doesn't hold them back from taking action, because they know they are capable of getting through whatever negative emotion comes their way. You also want to learn how to turn obstacles into strategies. And I do this with my clients, but it's basically looking at any tangible obstacle that you have. We look at and we say, okay, how do you overcome that? And then the steps to overcoming that obstacle become steps on the ladder towards your future. So, for example, if you need to have the skill of, one of the obstacles that you come across if you're trying to open your own business is like, well, I don't know how to do taxes, right? I don't know how to determine what it is I need to do for my business tax wise. You can either just look at that and be like, well, I don't know how, and let it just be a roadblock, or we can come up with steps, strategies to overcome that obstacle. Okay. And now it keeps you moving, keeps you taking one step forward. And you will build your confidence by being willing to try all the things, right? By failing and then overcoming and trying something different. So this is the fourth and final step. This process it works because it's simple. Okay. It doesn't require any special training. It's working with your brain's natural way of functioning. Okay. It's effective, so it's repeatable across all areas. So once you can work this process in one area of your life, you can work it in another. It's based in science, again, like I said, right? This is how the brain actually works. So it just works for everybody. It's not, there's no one that's exempt from this. And it's efficient. So you can implement this no matter what your circumstances are or how much time you have. The practice of managing your mind and knowing or learning the skill of processing negative emotions, it doesn't take a lot of time, right? You can do it in any place you are at, whether you're at work, with your children, at the grocery store. So it's super efficient. Okay. This is the same process I have personally used to completely start my life over from scratch twice, right? Each time I created a more authentic, purposeful life than before. This is the process that I was telling you about. I used to meet the exact partner I wanted and created a lasting relationship. I used this process when I wanted to double my corporate income, and I did that in about like 1 year, maybe like a year and a half. And it's the same process I used to quit my 6-figure career to start this business, right? And work from home and be more available for my family. It's the same process that makes it possible for my clients that I've had a client that started her own business, even when she thought she was done, right? And she was ready to retire. She started her own business and it's thriving. I've had someone move on from, some deep betrayal and heartbreak and end up creating a life that was very authentic for her and more fulfilling than it was before, and make more money than they thought was possible for themselves. So I just want you to, for a moment, imagine this life where you have, right, a partner and a relationship that has everything you want, where you're not settling. Or maybe you have freedom to say yes to the things you want and no to those you don't. You have a purposeful career that also provides financial wealth, right? And it doesn't have to take over your life to do that. This is a life that's designed on your terms. It's intentional, right? This whole process is very intentional. It's you deciding what it is you want and then making it happen. What will happen, I just want to say before I end this, what will happen when you start to implement this process for yourself is you will intentionally create a life that that you want, right? Rather than just letting your primitive brain take over, your negative emotions take over. Your brain is going to create results based on the thoughts you're producing regardless. So my thought is, why not make it purposeful, right? Why not make it intentional? So you're thinking, right? Which is, it's very natural for us to think like kind of in the most negative way. That's just, again, a primitive protection that we have. But with this process and with the skills that I teach in the coaching, you have the ability, right, to live in a way that is instructed by you and your authentic self, rather than being dictated by those negative emotions and by that primitive brain. And I just want to stress, this process doesn't just work for me. Okay. No one is exempt from this process. No one's exempt from getting exactly what they want. We just have a human brain that tells us that it's, too scary or not possible. And we've been socialized in a way to be very like realistic, right? We're very dreamy and idealistic as children. And slowly, we become a bit more constrained and told by society that we need to be realistic. But I've learned that this is just not the case. And I want to share this process with you. So, like I said, before we jump into questions, I just want to, and I'm just checking the time here, we've got 5 minutes. I want to give you the opportunity to build these skills and learn this process and work with me if that's something that feels aligned for you. And so I just want to explain how that works. My program is 6 months long. We coach together once a week. So for 24 weeks, one-on-one. I don't know if I said this, but 1 hour a week. You will get tailored or kind of customized worksheets, journal prompts, things like that to support your growth along the way. We record every session and I send that to you after with notes, so that you can look back at them and continue your growth in between. In between our coaching calls, you do have access to me, right, through email. So I'm always available if there's questions or you need additional help. There is, at the end, a bonus session. So in addition to your 24 sessions, there's a bonus session. It's the future self interview. So it's where we take all the work that we've done, getting you towards a goal, and I interview you from the place of the person who's created this so that you can see and feel what that's like to achieve that goal before it happens. And there is also just like a bonus little gift that I send out. It's really fun. I send out to all my clients when they sign up with me. So again, 6 months, 24 weeks, plus your bonus future self session. It is $3,000 for those 6 months, or 6 payments of $550. And today, for those of you that are on the call or that watch the replay until Friday, so tomorrow at midnight, I'll be offering that for $2,400 in a one-time payment, or monthly payments of $440. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen, you guys. Okay, I'm going to just see if anybody has any questions. And if you do, I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to let the video come back on, and then I'm going to share the link with you guys to sign up on a consult call with me. Okay. In that consult call, we will create like your personalized roadmap to how we're going to get you from where you are to where you want to be. So the transformation starts happening right away. I'm going to drop that link into the comments so that you have it and you can open it and claim that spot if you want it, if it feels aligned for you, or book that time if you have questions, right? If this is something that feels like you might want to try, but you're unsure, go ahead and just book a spot so that we can get through your questions. So I'm not ending. I'm going to stay around for questions, but I just want to end the recording. So I want to thank those of you that are here and that need to run. I want to thank those of you that are watching the replay. This work is so good, right? It has totally changed my life. I'm here for you. I want it to change yours as well. And I hope to meet you soon through a consult call. And if not, reach out to me just to ask any question you have. Okay, so thank you, you guys. I'm going to end recording and I'll go to take questions.